4 minutes after 8 o'clock. It's carnival time. It's Christmas time. It's island tea time. And we got my man, AZ.
Good morning, Jamster. How are you? Good morning
And
to
Kay.
everybody.
Good morning.
He doesn't-
St. Kitts and Nevis.
He doesn't sound sick, does he?
No.
No.
Oh, why
Maybe-
would he be sick?
No, he just said in the chat. He said
Oh
he
no.
was-
I mean,
not well.
I'm Candy.
Oh, I thought you
Candy-
meant. Oh,
no.
well, you said that too,
No,
but then
yeah.
where the not well fell, I thought you meant you didn't feel well either.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
we were supposed to have Candy this morning again, but she messaged me indicating that she's not feeling well. So we hope that Candy gets well soon.
Yeah.
And yesterday we had so many things happening, guys. Last evening, the budget debate continued. In addition to that, we had shooting in Old Road.
Oh my God.
Yes. And I want to express my deepest condolences to the family, friends, loved ones of Glenville Cider. He is known in the community as Sharp Boss. He was shot last evening, and based on the reports that were given, it appeared as if the shooting was in front of or close to the PLP office in constituency number 4, Old Road. Yes, and so I wish to express my condolences to the family, the loved ones, the friends of Mr. Cider. I knew Mr. Cider because he worked at Scasper for a short time.
Okay.
Yes, and I also know of him because, in the community, he would have been around, especially during the campaign time, for the party. And we exchanged communications more than once. I remember when he was at Scasper as well. And it's just unfortunate. I mean, the details of the death is still to be given. I see that there have been some sort of report given. But, I mean, when you think about crime, you think about, broken families in terms of the heartbreak that those family members would endure as a result of the loss. You think about also, too, the perpetrators, their families, too, in the sense that if convicted, they would be locked away. And so families, regardless, are suffering and would be suffering. So we really urge, the community, the society to become more forgiving. More forgiving. We need to become a more forgiving society where it is that, we don't resort to acts of violence to express ourselves.
Yeah. So condolences. So that's number 30.
Number 30.
So we had to make 30 for the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's so unfair, and it's so not good.
Yeah.
Because I was really hoping that it would have just been that for the year. I did not expect
Yeah.
them to ensure that it was 30. Because to me, this is like ensuring. Somebody said that. Let's cap it off.
Yeah. And 30 is such
A high
high
number.
number.
For
And
12 months.
yes, for
We've
12
already
months.
doubled the amount.
You remember
Wow.
during the time, and people criticize, and I'm not in any way publicizing but during the time, persons would have been criticizing the implementation of the peace programs. There are some persons who say that this spike is a result of the peace program, but the persons have so many different views. I remember not so long ago though, where the number of homicide was not this great. And I do hope that whatever is done, again, we have to ensure that the community has to ensure, and also the families, because these young men come from families, and also the resources of the state must be utilized to ensure that there is some way of prevention, and if not prevention, some sort of intervention to arrest the situation, because there is a high rate of homicides, and it is something that we are facing now. And so it cannot be that we just turn a blind eye to what is happening. The families, the police, the resources of the state, and members of the state must be clear in their approach in this critical time.
My thing is, yes, we had the program, but we didn't have change mentalities. Because do you realize, as soon as, let's say, the program starts dwindling, does that give somebody ammunition to go and take somebody else's life because of that? So are we going to say, oh, yes, this program worked for a while, but the mentalities never change. I'm going to get you one day. Because although we had the program, mind you, we still had murders. They were not as significant as it is today.
As frequent.
Exactly. But as soon as it off, you're going to say, oh, they're not paying me to behave anymore, so I'm going to go do. The mentalities never change. And if that was a program that they intended to implement, then they should have as well done some form of counseling or some other form of help.
Based on my information and those persons who were involved in the program, it wasn't just about payment. It was about meeting with the young men and actually trying to quell some of the tension that would have been festering during the time.
But that tension never quelled then.
Well, at the
to
time,
see that it's happening.
Well, if you take key players, if you remove key players from the equation, then the result may be different. And it seems as though certain individuals who were a part of the consultation and the program are no longer there. I remember earlier when we did this discussion, and the peace program is not a perfect program, and there has been for and against, and validly so. But I remember speaking to someone who was engaged in the program saying that there were changes that were made and that persons who were initially involved in the program were then not given the opportunity to continue. Of course, there was a time where it seemed that, well, it clearly had become very politicized, where persons were were part of the program who, when you look at them, were they really involved in criminal activity? So it became politicized. And so there are some shortcomings to it. And there is the argument that it creates some sort of reward for crime or that kind of behavior. But there are criticisms. What I'm saying is that what I would have liked perhaps is that the same key players who were involved perhaps to remain, and you try to improve the program rather than cut off persons who might have been in it without getting information as to what was going on. Again, it's a very ticklish situation. It's a very delicate situation on both sides. However, one has to think about what is going to be the next stage now, you understand, as to arrest the current situation that we have.
I just chop it up to mentality, because there's no way that I and you can't value our lives enough to just stop it. Why is it an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth? Why?
Yeah. And so, as I said before, there are some persons, because I try to listen to both sides, there are some persons who say that this is just a manifestation of the program, you know.
Phasing out.
Yes. And there are persons who said that there was no real deterrence, if it is that after the program, or what seemed to be a change in the program, that there. So there are so many views.
As a mentality.
Yeah.
Mentality. Because if our parents whooped us, we change our mentality not to do that again. It's all about mentality. I'm not pushing anybody in a corner and saying, and not paying any regard to them, but it has to be the mentality. If you don't change up here, how do you expect to change the outcome of life? So it has to do with the mentality. We can't say, oh, program is no longer there. They spoil it, they make crime start again. Nobody makes crime start again. No one makes crime start again. The people that commit the crime, they have the intention to do it. They plan these situations, they navigate around it, and then they commit it. So
it is a mental thing, and I do agree with you on that point. But I also indicate that there should be there should also be the resources of the state to try to intervene as well. Of course, crime is all-encompassing
It is.
situation. It is multifaceted. It touches every area of society. It touches the family. It touches school. It touches every area. And so there must be an all-inclusive approach to it. And we don't live in a utopia.
No.
So we can only try to create an ideal world, but in the end, there is no perfection.
Nope. These are the times. I don't want to preach, but amen. But we're killing each other.
Mhm.
Prophecy coming right through.
Yes.
And we are killing the young men. The population is soon going to be all women and a meager amount of men. And then that is when the true fight is going to come out now, because women is going to want somebody for themselves. And there's going to be nobody there because the young men are killing out each other. Because these guys are not even past 30. Most of them that are being killed these days, they didn't even see 25. Come on.
It's really unfortunate.
Something has to be done, but I am going to say they have to change their mentality.
Mm-hmm. And just yesterday too, last evening, we saw because many persons have been posting about what happened in Parliament during the debate. Many persons, and when I looked at it, it seemed to have been a very blatant display of power. I don't know if you saw the final, perhaps the final hours of the budget, and they had the speakers, the Honorable Sean Richards and the Honorable Timothy Harris, MP for 5 and 7 respectfully. And there, to me, would have been so many interruptions into their presentations, far more than what was allowed during the time that the government ministers were speaking.
Okay.
At a point in time, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris asked for an extension of time, something that was given to, the speakers before. And there was a overwhelming no.
Oh, wow.
And in addition to that, the members on the opposition, it seemed like they were not there, and so it was just him alone over in that side. And so when they had to divide the vote, or they made a decision to divide the vote,
He
and
lost.
everyone was no. Well, on the government, no.
So he lost.
And so that was an interesting take. I don't know how persons viewed it in terms of the Parliament debate yesterday, and we do welcome callers to hear their views as it relates to, the situation. We see an escalation in the crime, the number of homicides, and we also see last evening a display of power and authority. And so as it relates to the budget debates, and so, these are interesting times as it relates to the budget, because we know too that the Prime Minister, he is as far as information is correct, it has been indicated that he's not on island during the budget. And based on what has been said, it has been said, and I don't know if it is the only time, because usually the Prime Minister is on island during the budget address, and the Prime Minister is also the Minister of Finance. And so he is not on island during this time, and so that was something that was mentioned as well. Do persons feel that it is necessary that he be on island? I mean, he had already made his address earlier. He was the mover of the bill, if I'm not mistaken, and the bill is still being debated. He would have to, close the argument. But what are the views? Do persons feel that it is necessary that he's here during this time? And if persons want to call in and discuss that view, they can as well. In addition to that, we have this evening, last evening they had the Glow Fest. I don't know if you got the Glow Parade. Yeah. I don't know if you got an opportunity to look at it.
No, I was walking down from where I work, the gym, and I actually saw when they were turning down just by Best Buy, and that was it. I didn't look any further. I just continued on my merry way. Yeah.
This evening there is the National Miss St. Kitts Teen Competition.
Oh, talented teen. Oh, good.
Yes, so
Who you backing?
I have no horse in the race.
You have
I
none?
no horse
Destiny
in
Huggins.
the race. I have no horse in the race.
I told Destiny I'm gonna back her, and I'm sticking to it. I'm keeping my word. Destiny it is. So go Sams. Yep.
I have no horse in the race.
No.
So,
I like that one.
Yes.
He has no hearts in the race.
So best of luck.
Yes, to all of the young
all of the
ladies.
young
But you know,
ladies.
you gotta have your favorite. Go Sams.
Yes. So as we look at some of the things that are happening in terms of the regional news, it is we know that there has been talk. Well, in Anguilla, the minimum wage in Anguilla is to increase in January as well. Based on what I could remember, it would be about 16 EC dollars equivalent for the minimum wage in Anguilla. So that is something.
How much you just said?
I think it's 16 something. I'm
16 something US?
No, EC.
EC, okay.
So
What? That's higher than here? I'm moving to Anguilla. I'm moving.
Yes, it is higher than here.
Oh wow.
But I am just wondering what the cost of living is there.
Yeah.
If the minimum wage is set at 16, just
What?
over 16 EC dollars. So, because it would mean that, you know, the cost of living, well, on the face of it, it would seem that the cost of living is rather high.
No.
Yeah. So it has been, interesting take as we wind down the year that we have. I see here that Guyana, the Court of Appeal, throws out the latest challenge in the 2020 election. So they still have some matters that are happening in Guyana. He says that the Court of Appeal Monday dismissed an appeal challenging the ruling of Chief Justice Roxanne George, who had thrown out an election petition following the controversial 2020 general election and regional elections. The Court of Appeal agreed that the High Court ruling that the Guyana Elections Commission had a constitutional right to order a recount of the votes cast in March 2nd, 2020 general elections and regional elections. So it says here, Justice Dawn Gregory said Section 22 of the Representation of the People Act empowered the GECOM to remove any difficulty that had arisen or would arise in the execution of its constitutional functions. The opposition coalition, a partnership for the National Unity and Alliance for Chance elections petition, was dismissed over 2 years ago, challenging the recount. So in the ruling of the Court of Appeal, it said it did not find any violation of separation of powers between the executive and the legislature to make it unlawful and unconstitutional violation. The judges noted that then President and the then leader of the opposition had agreed that there should have been a recount. The court said that the GECOM did not amend any legislation but set out a mechanism through Order 60 for a particular occasion and in particular manner that make modifications for the procedure to arrive at the results of the election. Yeah, it's quite a bit of length in the article. So it says here, having had this matter determined in very clear terms, having regard to the limited power that is invested in the Commission, nevertheless, the appellant saw it fit to appeal and, as I indicated, caused this respondent to incur further costs in all of the circumstances. Despite this is a matter that raises a constitutional issue. The Court of Appeal has since adjourned to allow judges to consider whether the appellants should pay costs and whether they should be taxed. So there seemed to have been some sort of, election petition as it relates in Guyana. So I mean, Guyana is I guess
at the center of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things. I'm looking at an article here. I don't know if you see it. You would have seen it. It says Antiguan creates history. She heads the NYC Department of Correction. Attorney Linnell McGilney Liddy has created history by becoming the first Caribbean national and second black woman to assume the role of commissioner of the New York City Department of Correction in its 128-year history. The second black woman. Born on the island of Antigua and a child of a pastor, McGilney Liddy attributed her accomplishments and career to her faith in God and the support of her family. In view of her diverse background, Caribbean upbringing in a Christian household, strong family ties, and experiences of living in the melting pot that is the gorgeous mosaic of New York City, McGilney Liddy said, and quote, "She always aims to abide by a healthy moral compass," end quote. She said she appreciated the lesson her parents taught her to be impartial, be just, and approach life and work with a sense of compassion. New York City Mayor Eric Adams said, and quote, "Linnell McGilney Liddy has spent the better part of a decade at the Department of Correction, and I am confident that she is the right person to lead the department going forward," end quote. Wow. So he also said, McGilney Liddy has played a significant role in the progress we have made over the last 23 months, supporting this administration's efforts to reverse decades of mismanagement and neglect on Rikers Island Correctional Facility in New York. So that's very good. So kudos to the Antiguans who may be celebrating Mistress McGilney Liddy today. And the second black... It's... Listen, that's a diverse country. And to think that sometimes you hear the first, the second, the third. Why so long? And who was the first? I would like to know. I'll have to research that.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
In addition, though, looking at this article, it says at least 126 killed in earthquake in northwestern China.
Oh, wow.
So a strong overnight earthquake rattled a mountainous region of the northwestern China, authorities said Tuesday. So it destroyed homes, leaving residents out in a below freezing winter night and killing 126 people in the nation's deadliest quake in 9 years.
Wow.
So the magnitude was 6.2 and it struck just before midnight on Monday, injuring more than 700 people, destroying roads and knocking out power and communication lines. So as emergency workers search for the missing in collapsed building and at least one landslide, people who lost their homes were preparing to spend a cold winter night in tents at hastily erected evacuation sites. So our prayers and thoughts go to the people of China in the disappointing time.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, boy, imagine you went to get a good night's rest and your rest ended up being the last rest you would have gotten without knowing that your end is near.
In addition to that, those who survived, I mean, it has to be a very traumatic experience.
Exactly.
And then not only losing your home, but having to battle the winter. Because a lot of persons would be, if they survive, had been, homeless and because of destruction of their home and outside just holding on to their life.
And so close to Christmas, too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that earthquake, uprising, killings, prophecies are coming through more and more. I see it clearer and clearer every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But I mean, to play devil's advocate, these things have been occurring in time immemorial. We've had so many lost lives. We have so many destruction.
But isn't it more evident to you?
I think based on our attachment in terms of we have social media, we have information that at a blink of the eye we are able to know what is going on on the other side of the earth. I think it creates a closer connection. We are connected in a sense because of the access of information, the ease that information crosses countries at the blink of an eye. And
let's take a call. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning, Jamster.
Hey, what's up?
Good morning.
Good morning to Kortensia and to Azard. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Now, first, I always want to thank God for the Federation of Think It Navies, a blessed country, and I believe that if them in authority do good, I believe the young men and women will do better. And he was so disappointed last night to see the behavior in Parliament continue. You understand? Up to when Sean was speaking, because I listen to everybody. I almost listen to the whole Parliament when I got time. So sometimes I miss something. And I believe that they should have let the Honorable former Prime Minister Dr. Harris say what he got to say. And give me time. Because they're cutting in him a lot. The objection here in a lot, especially Miss Clark and Canvas. And I believe that on social media, the whole world is watching, some young people watching, and they see what's going on, and I believe that they could do better. You see, sometimes you got to take this point and the anger out of these things, you know. It's so country that get ignorant and violent. Because when you're going to want to shut down one person or shut down two persons and let the rest of them talk, and all of them is opposition, I do not think it look good and it's so good for the people of this country. Now talking about the crime, up yesterday Shah was talking about the crime, and he said that one murder too much, who got 29 murder. And he was saying that he want to see the 38th murder in this country, and for next year, going, he don't want to see nothing at all. And Sean was on the ball. He was talking the truth. And you see that when we political ignorance and we see things, and because you affiliate yourself to a political party. That is the problem, and that we will face in the politics all the time. I believe that should change. The political ignorance need to change. And if it don't change, we might end up like some of them other countries up there who got all kind of dispute against one another. Anyway, good program. I continue to listen.
Thank
you so much for your contribution, caller. Yes. And so, there is so many things that are happening, and because we are so in tune to information, we have at our fingertips access to information, and so we are able to see what is going on in the world. I remember a conversation that two persons had where someone said to the other, what is it that you're going to do? What is your wish for, unions? And that, the question was towards that. And the individual responded, I just want to make it to see next year,
Let's take another call.
It sounds simple, but
okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Given so many things that happen.
Good morning. Good morning to everybody there.
Hey, what's up?
Good morning.
And Azard.
Good morning.
Yeah, I just want to echo what the guy politics just said just now. Like me, man, honestly, bro, I've been out of touch with this politics, and it seems like I might have to go back into hiding again because I don't really see nothing changing in St. Kitts and Nevis, bro. I made an observation, right? Politics is like sports. They must have a winner and they must have a loser. You know what I observed? I'm gonna speak my mind right now. the Labour Party, right? What I observe with them is that they feel like they're the only party that can run Finkis and Nevis. And I don't really like that attitude at all, bro. Not because they're the longest standing party. You know, that's why I'm encouraging the young persons them to get involved in the politics, because, you know, these oldsters, man, they need to take a break, man. They need to move on the side and let some young persons come up. You know, Azard, man, if you're into this politics stuff, bro, you know, a lot of persons going to be, you know, watching you, man. You might have to take that quantum leap, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how hungry you is for this stuff, but you may have to take that quantum leap. You know, what the people is asking for, the politicians, they're not changing the stuff at all. The status quo remains. I believe personally, to me, I believe Sinkis and Nevis really need a shaking up, bro. They need some shaking up. Otherwise, the status quo going to remain.
But do you know who can shake it up?
I mean?
I know you said the younger blood needs to step
the
up.
young people have got to get involved, bro, and move these old politicians out the way. They got the country like hostage. You know, they're being too much recycled politicians.
Okay.
They're being recycled too much. That means there's little or few options all the time. The youngsters got to get involved in this political arena, bro.
Yeah.
They have to.
With,
You know what I mean?
with
If
a
they
change
don't,
mentality
we
too,
just-
because I don't want them to bring
the
forward the old
the
things.
people's mentality got to change.
Yeah.
The whole mentality of the people of Sinkis and Nevis got to change. It must change. If you don't change, we're gonna be going around in circles, bro. 10 years from now, 40 years from now, we're still gonna be asking for the same thing. You know, they have a new DPP that came in, right? And they passed the law in Parliament, and these guys to declare the assets, and two of the politicians didn't declare the assets, and the DPP was hungry to go after those two persons, and they don't want him to do it. Whether it's the AG or whoever is stopping this man from, the guy said he had the papers written up to charge these persons, because it's already a law in the Federation that they have to declare the assets. And two of those politicians, whoever they are, is known that two of them hasn't declared their assets. And if you can't punish somebody for breaking the law on the top, then the guys them in the street don't feel like they can always commit a crime and get away with it. You know what I mean? Earlier in the year, me personally, bro, I already know they was going to hit 30. If I had taken $1 million and bet somebody the homicide rate is going to hit 30 before the year's out, I would have had $1 million extra in my pocket when that 30th murder happened yesterday or whenever that happened. But the status quo can't remain, bro. The intangibles, what people are asking for, to get some of those integrity and, you know, transparency and the constitutional reform that need to happen to get a better relationship between Sinkis and Nevis, it's not happening. You know what I mean? The politicians them in Parliament, when they get in there, they act so immature, man. Yesterday, when I really observed, a lot of persons have made comments about what they saw in Parliament yesterday. And they're right. Even the speaker seems to be really biased. You know, Sean Richards was making I saw Sean Richards in the afternoon yesterday, right? The man was making some great points, and he had evidence to back up the reports that he was reading from. And they keep cutting into this man's time. You know what I mean? The opposition is not that strong, but when these guys stood up to make their presentation, they're constantly getting interrupted. You know what I mean? And that type of behavior in Parliament is only like that because this Labour Party feel like they're in control right now. But believe it or not, they can get moved. You know, the people have got to watch and observe what's going on. And when we go back to the polls next time, if that's the case, we move them if we have to. You know what I mean? But the status quo can't remain. It's too much corruption, and the judicial system in Sinkis and Nevis need to be shaken up. You know,
I wanted to ask you. So who's going to move them? Our options are pathetic right now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's limited options.
I mean, they're pathetic too, in a different way. But yeah, they're all pathetic as far as I'm concerned.
Everything is pathetic. The whole place needs shaking up.
The thing
But
about
there's
it,
two
right?
sets of laws, and it seems like before I go real quick, it seems like two sets of laws is existing in the Federation. Some persons could break the law, especially the politicians and the one at the top can break the law and they get away with it. And these are the same guys that's going into parliament and passing these laws. But they pass the laws and then they want to disobey the law.
Yeah.
How you think the people in the streets gonna do, the citizens? If it's corrupted at the top, it's gonna be corrupted at the bottom.
Yep.
But that's my contribution, man. You guys keep up the discussion. I wish the Federation the best, and you guys have a good holiday, man.
Yes.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks for your contribution.
I mean,
Thanks a lot.
if what he's saying is true, I mean, you're in power. I mean, let the people talk. I don't understand these guys.
Yeah, but if you listen,
Childishness.
if you listen to the debate, there were times when the Dr. Harris made intervention while there was a government speaker on the floor and it was shut down. But when the same was happening to him, it wasn't at the same extent, or even the other member for number 5.
Who was the speaker at the time? No, I asked for a reason.
Well, the speaker presiding at that time was the speaker.
Oh, okay. I thought because I saw a write-up there about
Oh,
deputy speaker
no.
saying
Yeah.
she's praising her and so on. So I was wondering if maybe she sat in at some point. But I just don't understand.
Yeah.
Why?
I think what people...
Why can't people be... Why can't you just be fair?
I see it in this way. Because, during the time that there was the team unity and Dr. Harris was Prime Minister, I'm sure that they felt, those persons who are there now, some of them who were there might have felt as though they might have been disadvantaged in the house. And so I thought to myself, because I try to think about things, even if you think that you were being bullied by someone, for you to bully that person when you get the chance does not... You are now...
Take the high road, but that's too much to ask.
You're now becoming the bully that once bullied
Exactly.
you. And so you don't create less bullies, you increase it. And that's something I thought about because, the political thing that we have here, it's so interesting in the sense that I see it as a cycle. It's like you do it to me until I get the opportunity to do it to you.
Let's take a call. Call it. Go right ahead.
Hey, good morning, Jamster. Good morning, Azard. And good morning to one or two ladies.
One.
One.
Only me, Miss Henry Kortensia.
Well, you're a big deal.
Oh, you are too. Thank you.
Yeah, you're a big deal. Don't minimize yourself. Now, yesterday I listened to the discussion in Parliament. And I was very disappointed. I mean, when Dr. Harris asked for an extension, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I really couldn't believe what I was hearing. Now, they had made some claims, and he was providing the information to negate the claims. So are they still afraid of him? Because that's what I said. I said, maybe they're afraid what he would say.
Mm-hmm. And I think he was making some points, yes.
Facts in the background, because even though I with the well in Keyon, I know that.
And I thought that he was rather calm given the interruptions.
Congress, I don't know. Honorable Congress, he's the leader of government business.
Wait. Why you have to put honorable at the beginning? Can't you just say Congress?
But he's a member of Parliament.
And then especially at this moment when what everyone is saying is true.
Despicable. I use the word despicable. Indiscipline.
But Dr. Harris, the Honorable Dr. Harris, was I find very calm. The way in which he responded.
Well, he accustomed to the hustle, remember.
The way in which he responded to when the speaker made her ruling and stuff like that, and was the engagement. I thought he was, quite on his feet as
yeah.
Yes.
And because you know what they're planning. And Senator Clark has got to learn, The image that she's projecting or creating is not a good one. This kind of like she's one of the bulldog, set. At one point she got up, she didn't even know what she was going to say. And it is to me, and the speaker has got to watch it. I like her, but to me she was leaning too much. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I think she was frustrated too.
Frustrated? Just be fair.
Well, she certainly wasn't fair.
But that's what I'm saying. That's wasted. That's wasted emotion. Being frustrated. Just be fair. Someone steps out the line, they go off the reservation. You shut them down. All sides.
I said to
How
myself,
hard is this?
Maybe she should listen to the recording about how she went on yesterday, because I don't want to end up like Carty Sunday. That's not a good thing.
We just, I mean, man. Oh.
You know, so I am expecting an apology from all of them. I like when he asks that their name, because some of us who listen to the radio, you can't see who's in the house.
Okay.
That's true, because someday the camera is on the individual who is speaking at all times.
You know, but I was very disappointed because I wanted to hear his presentation.
And I think too is an opportunity, as he was making the point.
Yeah, for us to
you hear the two sides, and so the people
right,
at the end of the day
you judge.
determine what it is.
I mean, you're already in power. Why do you have to bully pulpit all over everybody?
You know,
I don't understand it.
I said to myself, well, look, Doctor.
It's just embarrassing.
The whole behavior was unbecoming. Disturbing the peace. You see what happened? The truth has fire to retell, you know. The truth has fire to retell. All you have to do is let him talk. If you think he wasn't talking factual, you rise on a point of order. I was surprised that Honorable Jeffrey would join with them to not allow Dr. Harris to get an extension. And also Senator Phillip. I was surprised at them. I was very disappointed with Jeffrey's thing. He used to get to talk as much as he wanted. They used to say, oh, Jeffrey going with Harris. I mean, really, really? They rob the people who are listening of an opportunity to hear the other side of the story.
And there have been some persons who are making the comments, and this is not me personally, but there have been persons. There have been persons who are making the comment that those two speakers really were opposition to what was being said in terms of, you get a lot of comments from the other members on this side, and a lot of persons felt that number 5 and number 7 really gave that opposition kind of stance.
Well, I understand that, they don't have the island behind them.
Yeah.
Because we have to appreciate that Mark is in a complicated position.
A very complicated position.
Yeah, I mean, some people asking, they can't help. So some people just take red bread and can't get biscuits.
Mm-hmm. Because on one hand...
I mean, Mark Branson's presentation was good too,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He has to do some very, it's like a tightrope.
Tactical.
Yes, because on one hand, he is the premier of Nevis.
Yep.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, he's the leader of the opposition.
Yep.
So it is...
And not only that, the source of the funds to help pay over on the other side. Yep. But you're going to cut a chop up your hand.
But you see, but also, when is this odd constitutional architecture going to be fixed? How could you be the premier? I mean, I don't know.
Listen to me. Whenever they pass the law that Nevis must get its fair share, he doesn't have to call.
This is what I'm saying.
What you want to say, or water it down. We got to be realistic.
This should be codified in law, that regardless of who is running St. Kitts. I mean, I still think it's ridiculous, really, honestly.
Right.
I don't even think the two islands need to have separate governments. The country is too small. That's a waste of money.
Well,
yeah, but you see...
Is the NIA with a local government and then the federal government.
You think of the history. Think of the history. Who and Nevis going to agree for St. Kitts to control them?
Well...
They have suffered long enough with that.
Yes, but all the parties need to become national parties.
If you give all the power to St. Kitts, Nevis can turn back desert.
Well,
you have to face reality.
Well, that's where we need to start with laws that bake in equity for both islands.
No. All I do, I pray for the country,
yeah, definitely.
And people are hoping that this new set would do better than the previous Labour Party, but it's the same Labour. Labour is Labour. They promised better, you know what I mean? I was so disappointed in Jeffrey. There were some of them, Congress I know. I forgive Congress. And Clark. Clark is not creating for herself a good image. This lot of things sound like a brugu. You know you about brugu? She get up and she didn't have a point of order. The aim was to interrupt. But how we gonna learn anything? They had the first chance to make the presentation, so we heard them.
Have they presented the actual numbers for the coming year yet? Has each
minister? Yeah, in the estimates they have to vote on them. And another thing, they were so skillful in how they maneuver the numbers. But if you're familiar with the maths and the stats, you could work out, yeah? You could work it out how much they got.
You know, this is Christmas, and this.
And I think there's something that I always tell people, Mr. Harris, get the auditor's report. Mm-hmm. Get the auditor's report. Then you're going to know who has surplus, who left nearly $1 billion. They're in there. All the news people tell them, and the media people, they say they have done some course in economics and analyzing it. They need, because it have charts you could read. You could see when it is a deficit, it go below the line and it red. I mean, you could read and see, because a lot of the story they're giving. Mm-hmm. Eh?
Yeah.
And I asked the question yesterday. Who did that rate of inflation? It cannot be 2.1, it cannot be 2.9. If the inflation rate is that low, then you don't need a lot of salary increase rate and so, you know. Are you aware of that?
We're listening.
Yeah, that's why it is 2.9. 2.9 is it?
I'm not sure, but
I did hear around 3%.
It can't be that.
Yeah.
Somebody said
you could get 2.9 anytime if oil alone go up. Eh? I want to know who calculated. This time, you think you know more than IMF. I know more than IMF because I did the work. I know we have certain indices we look at. These indices must move a certain way for you to know.
We are aware
what is the rate of increase in the all food items? Because the all food items is similar to the overall rate of inflation. All of these things here, 2.9. We say, well, people shouldn't be balling. 2.9 is not actually lower than American one. I mean, really? So we want proper analysis. What we lack in St. Kitts, like in Barbados and Jamaica, they have independent groups. In Barbados, I think it is the Economic Society. In Jamaica, there are different groups. Not necessarily from university, you know. Citizens get together, even the integrity. They have NGOs, and after the thing, they analyze, not along party line, along economic lines. Well, so we know, we learn of the impact.
Well, Miss Henry, how are we going to have that when everybody wants to be a lawyer?
But lawyers could do economics too.
We have, I know, but my point is, I keep saying to people, and
well, the problem is
policy
economics
people.
Is too hard, you know?
I keep saying to policy people.
Say, my God,
we have
up your brains, and you come down. When you come back, they put you to sit down over there and do some stupidness.
I keep saying we have a young country that needs all these practitioners in all these professional fields to evolve the society and the economy and so on. And everybody wants to be a lawyer. I don't understand it.
Maybe safer so. They could at least check Badwood case, dog case.
Miss Henry.
Not better traffic rules as sure work.
And then I don't want to.
Miss Henry, why you don't come to Azard so rough?
I wonder why.
You see what Michelina again? Michelina can't go carrying out the Badwood case down there.
Oh Lord.
And Miss Henry, I don't want to.
Azard love traffic talk, you know.
I feel why
nobody police can say.
why I feel like no one comes after the doctors. Why they come after the lawyers?
Well, you need doctors.
The doctors?
But I make a good case. We don't need lawyers.
No man, the doctors. Most of the doctors got to work in the clinic.
But trust me, I got stick for the doctors too.
Actually price yourself out to the
But
market.
We need specialists.
That's a just humor. I think there is room for all professions, and
Yeah.
of course we need doctors.
No, but
and
some are more stable.
yeah.
The doctors, most of them end up in the clinic.
And we have our
because
doctor in here now.
outpricing each other.
You better watch what you
Outpricing each
say.
other, you know?
Yes.
They want 100, 150 in private. When you could go to any health center and get the same thing.
Okay, we said I gotta take another call, and then we have to go to a break. Caller, go right ahead.
Yes.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. McMahon.
No terrible. Let me tell you, no bad takes today. Go ahead.
No bad take.
No bad takes.
After what happened?
Yeah, I like
last
to
night,
tease
no
you.
bad take?
Go ahead.
He's just teasing you.
No, last night was really disappointing. I found, and I think it made the whole thing look like a farce in the sense that one would expect that things would be better, right? And what we had essentially is a replay of the past. And what was equally disappointing was the fact that a lot of it came from the younger persons in Parliament. They talked just a while ago about a new brand of politics and politicians. That's fine. But how do you get that when even the younger ones in Parliament seem to be doing its business as usual, so to speak? Right? That should have never happened. I mean, if you look, I've monitored the opinion on social media. And even those who are inclined to be supportive of the government side, basically they're saying, well, they used to do it too. They bring the they used to do it to argument. And that's unfortunate. They're not saying that it was right, They're basically saying it was wrong, but they used to do it too.
And I made the point, Mr. McMahon, if someone is bullying you, and then you now have the opportunity that you have the upper hand, and then you now become the bully, then you are now becoming the bully that bullied you.
Well, you can call it what you wish. Some people say that it's karma. Well, I'm saying let karma deal with karma, okay? But we're supposed to try to do better. And the interesting thing about it too, well, I think what this boils down to, we have a generation of leaders, and I'm not pinpointing anybody in particular, but a generation of leaders who are neither wise or exercise good judgment, or things like this would not have happened. They would have been able to see beyond this, be more mature, look and forward-looking, and forget what happened in the past. Because that's the only way you're going to really move forward. You remember the past, not for recrimination and revenge, but to make things better, to improve, right? And I don't see that this is happening. I honestly feel that this government is concentrating too much on the politics of leadership and not so much on the what it takes to actually make a good and effective leader.
Okay, we have to take a break for the next segment. You can call back afterwards. We have our the good doctor sitting right here, and we're going to be coming back with Weekly Dose.
Get ready for a dazzling showcase of talent, intelligence, and beauty at the 41st edition of Kane Smith Miss Caribbean Talented Team. Join us on December 30th, 2023 at 8 p.m. sharp at the St. Kitts Marriott Hotel. Experience Experience the brilliance of delegates from the Caribbean nation, including Mr. Kyler Hart Johnson, representing St. Kitts and Nevis. Our special guest host, comedian Fat Man George from Grenada. Power Pack performances by Soca Super, Lucas H.E., along with other local and regional performers, accompanied by the Greenhouse Band. Get your tickets fast for $80 EC before December 25th, or pay $100 EC thereafter. Don't miss the chance to watch the show live on sknvibes.com. It's the 41st annual Haynes Smith Miss Caribbean Talented Teen, where stars are born. Special thanks to our major sponsors, First Federal Credit Union, SL Hosford and Company Limited, Open Interactive, and Timothy Beach Resort. Join us and be a part of this legacy.
We're different.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
My granny always said prevention is better than cure. I remember this every time I think of ransomware and my business. Ransomware is a form of malware that provides criminals with the ability to lock a computer from a remote location and then display a pop-up window informing the user that it will not be unlocked until a sum of money is paid. Don't be held at ransom. Have effective and updated internet security software and firewall running before going online. Never reply to or click on links in spam emails from companies or individuals you do not know. Remember, when it comes to ransomware, prevention is better than cure. Stop ransomware. Visit getsafeonline.kn to find out more.
Christmas is coming. On Thursday, 21st December, the Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with the Ministry of Small Business and Entrepreneurship, present Agri Christmas Night Market from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. featuring local produce, cooked food, fresh fish and meat, grilled lobster, fruitcake, moist and nice, sour products, the Nevis Abattoirs, smoked beef, smoked ham, and rotisserie chicken. Goat water and cook up with and without oink. Watermelon eating competition, egg eating contest. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Boil egg, fry egg, raw egg? Me no. Come to the market. Cultural performances by the Monkey Hill Bull Troop, Zach Musical String Band, and Sills Masquerade. Musical entertainment by DJ Sugar Bowl and the Road March Jumps Grand Masters. Registration forms are available at the public market, the Ministry of Agriculture, 3rd floor government headquarters, and the Department of Agriculture, like Greed. So, save the date for the Agri Christmas Night Market, Thursday, 21st December, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the public market.
Get ready to wave, walk up and wine, December 21st, 2023, for the Skillet Power Soca Monarch, the Cooler Edition. Feel the heat as the best deli ranks. Mr. Hyde, Easy and Issa Kamal, KT Dan, Blade, Molly Media, Ras Kelly, Look Boss, Five-Star Pino, Nye, T-Bone, and Statics battling out for the crown. Tickets are $40. It's gonna be an electrifying showdown you won't want to miss. Check our outlets, First Federal Credit Union, the Cable Cost Cap, and the Evis Culturama Secretariat, and online at skncarnival.com and the Dcash app. All in with your crew for Sugar Mass 52.
Well, it's time for all the weekly dose faithful to step up.
Yes.
So come, all ye faithful Dr. Osborne fans and air conditioners.
Yes.
Let's go.
It brings us so to a calming mood because you want me to tell you why? This is our final show for weekly dose until the next year. Because, next week is the 26th of December 2023. and it is scheduled to be not only Boxing Day but Juve. And so, we won't be here in studio, and so we want to take the opportunity to thank Dr. Osborne, who have been working with us here on the show, Weekly Dose, for almost a year. Dr. Osborne, we at WINNFM have enjoyed having you, listening to you, and I'm sure our audience, through their many calls, they too have not only been entertained, but have learned so much about healthy living and about medical procedures and medical diseases, and also about the surgical aspect of the medical field. I must say that we have been impressed by your dedication to the healthcare system in the Federation, and we want to thank you for your service that you have given to us in this year. In fact, I know that there are persons who listen religiously to hear what you're going to say, because you give such an in-depth information, and for them, it's free of cost because they have the opportunity to hear some of this information. And so as we conclude Weekly Dose for the year, we want to base this morning on both your private and public life as it relates to being a general surgeon. So, first question I'm going to ask you is, we know that you are a general surgeon, but can you explain to the audience, what does that mean?
Well, thank you for your kind words, Azard. And it has been a pleasure, first of all, to be here with you guys throughout the entire year. We've had so many fun. But the sacrifice is real consistently. You see me show up here on time for 9 o'clock, but you don't know the things I've been juggling, having to go to the operating room, having to come back and stuff like that. I've got 2 cases planned for later today once I'm done here. So I'm trying always to manage my time effectively and efficiently, because that is one of the important factors of being a general surgeon. Yeah, so people hear the term being a general surgeon. I would take you back historically. As we started inventing medicine in way back when, centuries ago and stuff, the first surgeries were done by what we call the general surgeon. General means global or doing everything. So the general surgeon was responsible for the top of the head to the sole of the feet. And that's how our training was. And I remember there was a presentation a couple years ago which asks, is the general surgeon becoming extinct? Because as time has passed, and especially in the first world countries, everything has become subspecialized. So no longer the general surgeon deals with the brain primarily. Then that became the responsibility of the neurosurgeon. Then in the chest then became the responsibility of the cardiothoracic surgeon. Then you had the vascular surgeons who deal with the veins. Then you had the urologists who dealt with the urinary tract system. And so that is how the evolution has been. But the general surgeon was covered most of these procedures globally. But it was quite a lot, and it was quite vast. So as the years have passed by, we've introduced all these different specialties. So then the body is then broken up into different parts and being headed by different teams, okay? You have the gastroenterologist now. So the importance of the general surgeon in the Federation of St. Kitts is still important, because we have very few specialties and subspecialties. Because what? One, we're a small nation. Sometimes we can't, we would not have the volume of work that a neurosurgeon would do. How many cases are you going to be involved in to be effective? Okay, 1 case every 2 months, 1 case every 3 months. So then we realize that cost benefit wise, it doesn't really help. If we have a case that is beyond what we can do, then that patient would be flown out to another center, stuff like that. So you have to understand why we do not have all of these specialties. Sometimes it would become very costly for the hospital to employ all of these, and the work that some of these, because we're a smaller population, would not be extensive to justify being employed. So the general surgeon still covers quite a bit of these areas of specialties. So we even have a urologist now. We've introduced a urologist to this service just this year. Because the general surgeon was taking care of all of these responsibilities. And if he goes on vacation, sometimes he goes for 6 weeks, the general surgeon still has to cover. The vascular surgeon as well, we have one. If he's not around, when he left on vacation earlier, he was out for 6 weeks, and we still had to cover. So that's the idea of what a general surgeon is. We do a bit of everything.
That's very good to know. So, Doc, I would like to know, what day do you do most of your surgical procedures, and what does a typical day of surgery look like for you?
Oh, I like that question because, in our hospital and in most institutions, most specialties have a particular day. So the general surgeon, our day is Thursday. That's our main operating day. For our electives, I want to make sure that the audience understand, because if you have an emergency, that takes place any day, any time. But for elective or planned cases, those are done on a Thursday for us. And it depends on how many cases you have. It could range from 8 cases to 12. It all depends based on the length of time, because you will evaluate what is your capability and how much you can handle, and based on the intensity of the case. Some cases are minor, some cases are major. So a typical day starts with me rushing to the hospital, trying to get there before 8 o'clock, and I'm going, and I normally go straight to the operating room, or if I have a case on the ward that was admitted the evening before, if I was on call, I have to review that case, see what I need to do in terms of the management, then I'll go into the operating room, and I'm there until the day ends. Sometimes the day ends at 3, the day can end at 4 or 5, all depends. And even if you think that your day is going to end at 2, once you start doing a case, you don't know what surprises or what different things may come up. And so you keep going. And usually for us, I was trained in the school that you don't stop for breakfast, you don't stop for lunch. We can just keep going and just get the care for the patients and keep the day going, because, of course, persons are waiting, persons are expecting of us to be as efficient we can and as effective as we can. So I usually just continue throughout the day until I'm done. Then when I can take my break.
So it should be good that you're here on Island Tea on Tuesday, because you could always have a cup of tea with us. You know?
Since
I'm not going to put you on the spot, but since I've been here, we've had this beautiful setup for the tea. You have not given me a glass of tea, Azard. Can I have a glass today?
I think you deserve it. And Kortensia, what tea do we have today?
Peppermint.
Peppermint.
Oh, I love peppermint tea.
So it's definitely going to suit.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to come for some of that. Is there enough for me?
I think that was the last cup.
You see how bad you see how terribly they treat me, Natalie? You see how you see how terribly they treat me? Yeah.
So, enjoy.
Thank you so
Sorry,
much.
Jamsa. We didn't realize it ran out. So, Doc, we know you said, the month is not done, but how many surgeries or surgical procedures would you have performed for this year?
Well, so annually we have our stats, okay? And then we collected the data, and I had over 428 procedures that were registered in the operating room from January of this year to December of, I think, just last week when I did my last case. And that means that's over 428 lives I've touched, or families I've had to deal with, families who have been dependent on me. And that, because a general surgeon does quite a variety of things, that is one of the highest number in terms of contact with patients. And this only represents the operating theater. When we have contact with the patients in the emergency room, there are certain procedures we do there that were not counted here. And all these are lives and families that we come in contact with every year. And we strive to serve to the best of our ability, you know?
Wow. Yeah. So let me ask the question. You said over 428. So the next question is, what are some of the most common surgical procedures that you have performed during the year of 2023?
Okay, and I also did some research apart from this to see if it stands up or it's in keeping with international care. So some of the most common, you're going to always have your endoscopies. So we had the colonoscopies, which top 79 cases throughout the year that I did myself.
Wow.
That's quite a lot. All of the 79 patients, I had to see family. I had to explain the procedures too. And EGD, which is the upper endoscopy, was 67 cases. We do a lot of soft tissue biopsies or removing lumps and bumps, you may call them, little things on the skin, because we do any cases, whether it is minor or major. So we have soft tissue tumors. Most of them are benign. You can have a cyst, you can have a fibroma. We excise that. I had about 41 cases. We see a lot of abscesses in our community. So we have incision and drainage, where a person would have an abscess, which is a collection of pus, an infectious process. We drain that. Or even if you have we call it a hematoma, where there's blood, you had a trauma and there's blood collected there, you would have to drain that. We've had things like debridement. What is a debridement? You say removing dead tissues. We've got tons of patients who may have been diabetic or have some sort of injury, and they come in with an infected area. You have to do what we call debridement. Some people on the street would say scrape the area. Yes. So that's the whole idea. Breast biopsies, there were over 26 cases of them, and very common for us to things like the umbilical hernias and the inguinal hernias, where the 25 umbilical hernias this
That's
year.
A lot.
14 inguinal hernias. And for emergency, we had appendectomies. I did 24, and that is just me. There is another general surgeon. So this is some of the work that we've covered throughout the year in terms of the most popular cases, because we did a lot of other things.
So you mentioned the amount. So
Yes.
now, what is the most common surgical emergency that you performed this year?
As with international studies, it's the appendectomy. You're always going to come across the appendectomy that we do here, and it happens here, generally seen in the younger population. So yes, that's always top of our list. And then things like abscesses. Then we have trauma with different types of injuries. You can have lacerations and stuff like that. Those are quite common. And those oftentimes we deal with in the emergency room, so they won't be counted in the statistics of the operating theater at that point. You understand? Sometimes we have a laceration here, laceration there. We can take care of that immediately.
So what are some of the most common elective surgical procedures performed?
So the difference between the elective and the emergencies, I just want person to say, I understand. Emergencies means something that you have to deal with right away, so our audience understand that. And elective means that it is planned. Something that is non-emergent, you have a biopsy, a lump in the breast, a lump on the leg, something like that, you have a hernia. It has to be done, but it's not an emergency. So we've topping our list are usually like the breast biopsies with that, and then we have things like the umbilical hernias, the inguinal hernias, and I do quite a lot of circumcisions, because once the urologist is not here, we still cover most of those cases. Okay. So those are some of the top. So the breast biopsies, the umbilical and inguinal hernias. So the hernias, we know that umbilical and inguinal hernias are very common. We've spoken about them on the show many times.
Wow. So doctor, can you tell us about some of the most interesting cases that you have had during this year?
Oh, I remember early up in this year, you know that this is the height of our tourism season.
Yeah.
I remember there was a patient earlier in the year, I think was around February, came in on the ship. And that patient, because the office where I'm at the Science Complex is very close, the patient came over to the office there. She was having abdominal pain, abdominal bloating, means that she was puffed up, and she hadn't passed stool or gas for several days. So then immediately I knew something was wrong. She was looking ill, she was looking dry and pale, and she also told me, Doc, I'm really not feeling well. And she had a medical history where she worked with a physician many years. She was not a physician herself, but she had worked in that thing, so she knew quite a bit. And so we had her on I admitted her to the ward, had some x-rays done, ultrasound and stuff, but I knew that something was wrong. Once you're not passing stool or gas, we know something is wrong. There is some sort of blockage. My concern is, and it's always that fine dance that you have to do, because she's not a local. Do you want to be transferred immediately away from us back to your home country, because I think she was from the U.S., or do you want to have care done here? So we always have that. When it's our local, it's a little bit different. But she accepted the care here, and I had to take her to the operating room. And in that case, I found there was a large segment of her bowels or small intestine that was necrotic or black, or as we say, dead, and didn't know why. It was stuck down by a band or something. Just think of something there like a elastic band that had it there, so it was stuck, and that part of the bowel died. So I had to remove that section and put it back together. So that was a very interesting case. Also, she's had previous surgery, so we call that adhesion. So anytime you've had
previous surgery, she had had in the same area.
Yes, so she had a hysterectomy, I think. So once you've had previous surgery, you're at risk for having what we call adhesion. So she had this adhesive band there, or this area where it was stuck down, and it caused the blood supply to be destroyed, leading to that area or segment to become dead. So we had to resect that and put it back together. We call anastomosis.
So you see, as you give us so vividly that situation, it shows us how something might seem simplistic in the sense that not defecating for some time, or difficulty defecating, and how it could have been some aspect that needed some sort of surgical. So somebody might have thought to themselves, maybe they just need some pills or something to get, not knowing that it was more than that.
Because once you haven't passed stool several days, some people, we've spoken about constipation, but once you haven't passed gas, which is air. The bowels produce gas every day. It produces it from the bacteria that are there, from the food that we eat. So there must be some gas coming out. And once there was none, and we saw that she was so bloated and puffy, we knew that something was wrong. And that, of course, led to us saying. And so we had that patient. So our reach is not only local, at times it is international.
That's
To this day, she still writes me, she still emails me, and I got an email from her during Thanksgiving, and she was wishing me well and everything. Forever grateful. And that was a tough case for me, because she had some delay in the return of her bowel activity. And you, as a surgeon, you have all these responsibilities in mind. You're wondering, did everything go well? Did I miss something? But then she eventually resolved, was so happy, started eating.
I think what is commendable too is that the fact that you offered her whether she's going to take care in the US or take care here, and she had the confidence,
you gave her the option,
to rely on your services, and was able to do a good job at the end of the day.
Yes, because some persons from a first world country to come here to a developing country, they're scared. Things are different. They're not confident oftentimes. So they actually we have to earn their trust.
Yeah, that's what I'm
and
saying.
You're so correct
you really
in saying that.
Was able to earn that trust from that conversation and consultation. That speaks volumes.
Let's talk about the young lady with the endometriosis, because we know this is a common situation that most women are facing.
That was
today.
another interesting case. Young lady, I had seen her a couple of times. I knew she had a long-standing history of endometriosis. And so she came to me one day. She was having bleeding from the rectum, blood clots. Thick clots, and I said, okay, we need to investigate. I would start with a colonoscopy and see what's going on inside the colon. I immediately think that it might have been a complication of her endometriosis, because endometriosis is meaning that the tissue from inside the womb or the uterus is deposited or go elsewhere. So those tissue can be deposited into the bowels where it shouldn't be, and that creates that problem. It's a very common disease, and it affects lots of women worldwide, and it can lead to severe complications. So when she came and saw me, I said, let's do the colonoscopy, look into the colon and see what's going on. Then the day she had the bowel preparation, she passed no stool or gas. That's another thing that would alarm us. Once you start taking this laxative, and many of our audience know about it, that they use the magnesium citrate. Some people will buy it over the counter if they're constipated. But she realized she hadn't passed anything out. And so she became bloated and distended, and she had some vomit. She ended up in the hospital. I admitted her to the ward, and I reevaluated her the following day, hydrated her and stuff, and realized this lady is very obstructed, seen in the x-rays and the ultrasound that nothing is passing out. And so we had to take her in. And it was so interesting to find that the endometriosis had blocked the colon. And so that was another very interesting case to see. And it actually was one of my tougher cases as well, too. And, you know, when you're there and you have to be functioning as a physician and functioning and making sure you're making the right decision, it can be very stressful. So you would see me here smiling, but once you get into that setting, it's a different, and you have to put on that thinking cap, and you're always wondering what's the best move and stuff. But she turned out well. She actually will need a second surgery because in that case, she ended up with what we call a colostomy. If you know what a colostomy is, bringing the stool on the abdominal wall in a bag. And because of that, so later she'll need second surgery. So that was one of my most interesting cases, of course, for the year.
I just have a question to tuck in here. Can somebody that's 65-year-old still be affected by endometriosis that can cause the same problem that young lady had?
Usually by the time you hit menopause, some of the symptoms will start to regress, okay? But if you've had early problems, some of these problems may never go away, okay? But once you hit menopause and you're not having the all of these hormones and stuff, some of the symptoms should regress.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Definitely. Wow. So, doctor, the question is, what case or cases have been the most difficult this year? I know you already indicated the most interesting.
Well, yes.
Were they the same, being the most difficult as well?
Some of them were because these cases were very complex and interesting. But there was another gentleman that I had to, and this one is a little bit more recent. He was diagnosed with a colon cancer. So colonoscopy showed that he had the lesion in the colon. It was almost blocking it off, so we knew that we had to move quite urgently. So then we go in to do that case. The patient had 2 tumors in the colon in separate segments. So that was very complex in that sense. And the patient had had surgery before, so that individual had what we call adhesions. We've spoken about this before. All the bowels were stuck together, so you have to take your time and open up all of these adhesions. And that took quite some time before you could even go and do the primary surgery, which you were there to do, which is to remove the segment of the colon that had the cancer or the tumor in it. So we were able to do that successfully, and he turned out to be well. But that one was a very tough one as well. And at that one, I am a woman of faith, so I'm praying, I'm hoping, I'm thinking, I'm using all of my faculties and all of the grace that I could get there at that moment to make sure that, because these persons are depending on you in that moment to see them through this disease. So that is what we have to do. So that one was quite tough recently.
How do you stay calm during these situations? I know you say you're a woman of faith, but is there a minute that you stop, you breathe deep before you continue? What do you do?
Excellent question, because one time I was there, and in this case, that was one of the first time I needed a doctor. You know that running joke where the doctor needs a doctor. You're like, for that moment, you're like, I need a doctor right here. Wow. Where's my help? Where is my doctor? So when you realize that the buck stops with you, you realize that I have got to do the best for my patient at this moment. So he's doing well, was able to recover and stuff, but that was good. I needed a doctor in that moment to help me.
I can only imagine.
I think about it is life or death, and at that point in time, you have to be as much as careful as possible.
I was taught by my mentor, husband, you're going to see things differently when the buck stops with you. Because I was like, I got this. But when the buck stops with you, you've got to stop. You've got to think twice before you make any move, because whatever you do is going to determine how this thing, how the outcome of this case. Go ahead, Azard.
No problem. So when you're comparing 2022 with the year 2023, in which year did you have the most cases?
And why?
Okay, so 2022, and this is a pivotal moment for me, which most of you may not know. And I'm going to share this with you because for many years, I worked along with a partner, and you guess I would have mentioned this before.
Dr. Cameron
Wilkinson. He was my mentor for years, and I learned a lot working with him because as a young surgeon, you do not know everything. You're just trained, and you need to be guided and supervised. And the experience of an older person, just like yourself as a lawyer, and in my textbook there was always something, tricks of a senior surgeon, and there are things because of experience as older surgeon would know. So we worked along together. He was my mentor. I learned a lot. So when we worked together, the last year was 2022, and then he migrated off to the United States. But we had a good working relationship, and we did quite a lot together. And then it's him and I. So there are two brains working there. Oh, why don't we do this? I suggest this. He suggests that. I suggest something. He said, no, I don't think that's the best move. But you have somebody to play off of, so that's different. And so last year we'd have done quite a bit more cases in that period of time. And I also had to introduce myself to the general public. The new Dr. Wilkinson, lots of persons didn't know about me. I was like the quiet one. I was like the one behind the scenes. So I was now on my own and had to step up to the plate. And so the public I had to earn the trust of the public. And that is so important. And bit by bit, I had to do that. And I see that I am not perfect in any way, but I've seen over this year, how I've grown significantly, how the public has gained some trust. I see that my patients are coming back and say, Doc, when I leave here, I'm coming back to you. I feel good we're under your care. And that is what I've been able to do. So last year, we did a bit more than this year.
No, good.
I know you've spoken on a number of surgeries that have been successful, but now there's a question. Does each surgical case always go as planned? If not, what do you do?
Yeah, that's what we call complications. You've got some mishaps. But here's what. We know that there's never, they're going to be unforeseen things that happen. We're not planning to have complications, but they're described enough, okay? But the important thing is to recognize the complication at that time and to address it. So that is important to know. But there have been times when things did not go as planned, and you have to correct course, of course. And some of these things that we call complications, well described, we've had some of them throughout the year where the wound got infected. Once you know certain cases, we have cases, and they can be a clean case or a dirty case. For example, if you're inside the abdomen and there's spillage of stool, fecal content from the bowel, that is a dirty case. It then contaminates, and you can have a wound infection. So you expect that, and you put the adequate antibiotics. You can have bleeding during a surgery or after a surgery. You try to make sure your course correct. The most important thing for a surgeon to do is to recognize that there is a problem and not put his or her head in the sand and hope it goes away magically. Do you know about the ostrich hoping that it disappears? So note and recognize your complication and address it when it comes, because they would come at some point. Sometimes we have a little person who may have a little infection there, there's some bleeding, but most of these complications tend to be minor. You may have a little hematoma because there's some bleeding in the area that you would have operated on, or there's some fluid collected, we call that a seroma. Sometimes if you have bowel surgery, the person can have delay in the activity return, we call that an ileus, and you see that especially in the older patients because they don't respond as immediately or quickly. So once you know there is a problem, you have to be able to correct you.
So I'm going to ask you a double question, considering the time. Does every case under your care have surgery? And what would you say is the toughest part of the job?
Every case under our care doesn't have surgery. There's some non-surgical managements. We've got patients, we admit them to the ward. Sometimes you may think it is one diagnosis because you have an admitting diagnosis, and then you have a diagnosis. It may change throughout the course, and you may think that the person might, for example, have an obstruction, or they might just have been impacted with feces, and you resolve that. So not every patient admitted goes to the operating room. And what is the most complex or toughest part of the job? The expectation of the family and patients. You've got to sit and tell a patient, I cannot do anything about this. This is beyond me, or this disease is so advanced, so I am unable to do it. And sometimes a patient may come. You know, it takes a while for a problem to develop. but they want the response immediately. So years they're coming with the problem, but once they're in your hands, they're looking for an absolute solution, an immediate response in the solution. Sometimes it takes time. And those are some of the toughest challenges that you think. So they want you to fix the problem immediately. Sometimes you can fix the problem, and sometimes it's going to take some time for them. So it's an enormous responsibility. The weight is on me. I tell my patients all the time, all these added gray hair that I have is because of them. And they laughed about it. And so, but it's been a pleasure doing this. It's always been my dream. And so I'm happy that I've gotten this opportunity to serve the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, all right, and my community.
Yeah, but we're happy that you got that opportunity too. But do you have any final thoughts since this is your final show for 2023?
Well, as I said, and this is going to come from the heart, I am grateful for everything I've been given. I do not take it for granted. As a child, I was one of those children who knew exactly what they wanted. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. I remember I was playing with animals and insects. I was cutting down the lizard, trying to learn their body parts from a very early age because I was determined. But I grew up in poverty, like most of us. My father raised me along with 7 other children, so it was a large household. We had our economical difficulty. My father is not a university graduate, so he was what we call a hustler. Most of us know that. He would do trucking, he would do this, carpentry, he would do mason. And I always wonder where I would get this opportunity. I was trained in Cuba, and I'm forever grateful for that opportunity to live out my dream. And at this point now, I am living my dream, and I'm happy, and I'm excited every day, and I'm excited to wake up and do my job. And one of the most important things is the passion that you have. Yes. And the other part of it, I've had good mentors along the way, persons who've taught me and encouraged me and told me, Natalie, be patient. It's going to come to you. Because sometimes when we're young, we want it all at once. Yeah. And Dr. Wilkinson always said, it's going to come to you. You've got to take your time. Learn it now so that along the line, you do not make as much mistakes. So here I am today.
Wow. Had an excellent mentor, I must say. And his persona and his calmness amazes me all the time.
Yes.
So you go, Dr. Cameron.
Yes. Kudos to you, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, for the work that you have done here.
And it's about passing the baton.
Passing on the baton.
You've got to pass on the baton, because some point I'm not going to be here either, and I'm going to have to pass on the baton to the generation that comes by.
You
and
have
that's
to
what
pay
life
forward.
is about, paid forward.
Yes,
so thank you everyone for listening to us and for supporting the show as always.
Let's have a good send out song jam stuff. You know, and I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, maybe I should pull up a Grandmasters or something. Because you know, it's all about the agro market on what day is it? Thursday. Yeah. So that's coming up on Thursday. So we have a representative from the agriculture ministry coming up next to tell us all about that.
Great.
Right.
Yes.
Have a great day, everyone.
You too.
Value Mark IGA special.
Running December 14th to the 27th.
The more you shop, the more you save.
In December, get the double points when you shop at Value Mart.
Now, our Value Club Christmas specials. Pringles chips, just $9.99. Pearl Pancake Mix, $12.49. Nestle Splash, $9.99. Dole Folds, $14.99. Post Great Grains cereals, $18.99. Chaborny Greek yogurt, $5.69. And now our very low weekly
value deals. Essential everyday apple juice, $6.99. Essential everyday party and dry roasted peanuts, $12.99. IGN Essential everyday flour, $9.99. IGN Essential everyday cereals, $9.99. Handy for roaster pans, $5.99. Dial Farm, $11.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart for this Christmas and get double points for more rewards today.
En la temporada de Navidad continuamos con las recompensas y los puntos dobles. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en
Value Mart.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put a Magnum in the air now. From you a drink magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot magnum when me have in a me hand there. Give her a sip and she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a magnum for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Merry Christmas from Rams, the good food people. Jingle bells, the hours are bright. Shopping at Rams is a true delight. Stock your pantry, spread the cheer. $50,000 of groceries for a year. Fruits and veggies, treats so sleek. Rams, the good food people can't be beat. The joy of giving with better prices in every aisle. Our team preparing. Fill your cart this holiday season and shop with Rams and win $50,000 in groceries for a year. Terms and conditions apply. See in stores for details. Happy holidays!
$9:39. Well, if this is not a great setup for what's to come on Thursday night at the public market, I don't know what is. I think you're going to be happy to hear what Miss Gibson has to say about the night market. Good morning. What's up?
Yeah.
Hey, good morning. So we have Mrs. Gibson Dorr here in studio from the Small Business Department, but they're doing a collaboration with the Department of Agriculture. And so she's here to tell us about the night market on Thursday.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. So you're from small business,
Yes,
not
I am.
agriculture. You see,
That
I
is
was.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, so this coming Thursday, we will be having the final edition for this year of the Agri Night Market, and it starts at 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. The whole purpose of the Agri Night Market is to bring persons back to the public market, give vendors a chance to go out and generate some income for themselves. Have persons know that these small businesses, these local vendors, farmers are available, have products that are very of good quality that persons can enjoy, and they are available for purchase. So we just wanted to give these persons the opportunity to generate some income and to build awareness for their businesses.
Because, it's the carnival season, Christmas season too, so the streets are buzzing, everybody's on the road. It's like Friday every day. Friday is the time that I often wonder where all of these people are coming from. It's almost as if that everyone has a off day on the Friday because so many people are on the road. And now, as we see it, it's carnival, it's Christmas, people are shopping, there's so many things to be done, and the roads are busy. And so I guess you guys are giving persons the opportunity within the agricultural department and small businesses too to have that opportunity to get what is the offload from this crowd.
Yes, that is true. This is the Christmas season. Persons are more willing to spend, and it's a festive season, so we want to give them the opportunity to meet our farmers, meet our local producers, and see what they have available, and see how they can get those little gifts for their family, for themselves, because the items are of quality. We all have to do a lot of cooking this Christmas. We have our big Christmas meals to prepare. So we invite you to come and purchase from the local farmers so that you can produce that wonderful Christmas dinner for your family. Of course, they'll have products that are for the season, the sorrel,
We are featuring eggs. Everybody, we have a lot of pies to make.
Yeah,
We
and cakes.
Kititians,
And
we
cakes.
love our side dish, our macaroni pies and those things. And we have a lot of cakes to make for Christmas. So come on out and get your eggs there and all the other Christmas featured products that we as Kititians love to have during our Christmas season.
You know, she spoke about the eggs. In addition to the pies, you know what came to my mind? Is a drink.
Eggnog.
Yeah, eggnog came to my mind.
Oh, yes, Christmas.
Or
Christmas.
Punchy Cuba.
Punch-
No, because,
punch-
you know, it has eggs in it.
Yeah.
But, you know, eggnog just has that homemade kind of feeling.
boy,
you know?
you make me want some
Yeah,
eggnog
like
now.
you just do a little blend. I remember when I was in primary school, or was it high school, that you had a little recipe to do the eggnog.
Oh boy.
You know?
Oh,
Yes.
Azard,
Well, come
stop
and buy
making me
your
hungry.
eggs
I
and make
know.
and bring for your colleagues here.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me ask, for those farmers that maybe would have not registered just yet for this night markets, is there still time for them to do so?
Well, the deadline was yesterday. I'm not sure if there are any available spots. We had 2 weeks ago, we had over 50 plus persons. I know that there is space for up to at least 70. So you can go to the public market and check to see if you still can get a spot for there. The registration is $10. Admission to the event is free, so we invite everyone to come and see and just make it a liming event. Even if you don't want to purchase, come and lime. Maybe you'll see something that you didn't expect to be there and that you'll want to purchase.
So the night market, and give us a reminder, Mrs. Gibson Dua, as to the time that person should be there to partake.
Well, it starts at 5 p.m. and it goes all the way up till 10 p.m. At 10 or between 8 to 10, they will have musical entertainment for those who like grandmasters. You can come and unwind your day with them. We have other cultural presentations. We have the actors, the bulls, the masquerades. So it'll be a shopping entertainment vibes going on there. So
Quite
come
festive,
and
it
shop.
sounds.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We're
Very
trying to give you that festive experience.
Yes.
I know these night markets sometimes don't end at 10. Is there any chance for an extension since it's Christmas and there are going to be a band there?
I'm not sure. We were looking into that, maybe, but just come and see.
I like that. You got to be there.
Yes.
Yes.
I like that.
So as you buy your produce, there will be music, there will be entertainment. So you're not just getting food produce, but you're also getting a total package where you could have that kind of camaraderie, you know, that Christmas feeling. That
I remember I went to one night market and there were some folks over on the other side selling breadfruit fries and stuff. Is there going to be items to eat or are we just going to buy items to cook?
Yes,
Okay.
there'll be food producers there so that you can get your barbecue, you can get your cook-up,
nice.
whatever food items they have there that you can eat while you browse. And we'll have other small business vendors that sell candles and soaps and that sort of thing, so that you can get those for your little gift bags as well.
So it's all inclusive then.
Yes, yes.
Shop,
So
every
yes.
market.
Yes.
Public market is the place to
Nice.
be this Thursday.
Yes, yes, it is. It promises to be entertaining and exciting. We also will be having a few competitions and prizes will be given away.
Well, it's you're getting everything at this place.
I know, but I want to know what type of competitions.
Well, we
Sing
since
it,
we have-
please, because some of us scared.
I said, well, you already put your disclaimer
Yeah, I
in.
remember the last one I was there. They had the
we
prize,
had a nice
the prize thing. Yeah.
karaoke one,
So
but
you,
this time
so you
we're
could
not.
carry your own key then.
Yes.
So you have an opportunity.
but not this time. Not this time.
Not this
The
time,
two
Azard.
competitions we'll be having is egg eating competition and watermelon eating competition. So I think you're competing, but you're still full in your belly.
Yeah, so
a
you
little.
should go
Why
there.
eggs though? Why
Remember,
eggs?
we are featuring eggs, so yes.
But you know, eggs, I think, could be a bit filling. So if you could really...
Are we going to fancy up? Is it going to be devil's egg? It's because I don't want to eat plain
No.
boiled egg. Oh, boy, okay.
That's a lot of... That's a good amount of protein.
I know that's going to be a lot of protein to work off. That's so
Yes.
So the competition is open to anybody.
Yes, it is.
That's a good,
Just
for
come hungry.
persons who work out, that's egg is a very good source of protein.
Yes,
it's a
and the winner
challenge.
of that will get a crate of eggs. So
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Not bad. So you get extra eggs to keep the protein going.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all inclusive. It seems like a whole, you have your music on the side, you have your
Food.
produce, and also the food that
Don't
you could
forget
buy.
the food, because
and
we
then the
need food to
competition, so you
peruse.
could get more produce.
Yes.
You understand? So it's
Yes.
all inclusive. Yes.
yes, it is. And the business entrepreneurs that will be there, they have persons who can give you curtailed items like keychains you can order, or you can have a cup that is printed with your name. It doesn't necessarily have to be done right there. You can put in your order and get it in time for Christmas. So there are a lot of opportunities for persons to find that little item that they may need just in time for Christmas.
You might not know this, but do you know if maybe the meat market will be open?
Yes, I do believe that Nevis will be coming down with their smoked.
Oh, the hams, the
goods.
famous Nevis hams. Yeah,
so come and see
Imagine.
what you can get. And of course, they'll have the fishes. That persons, as soon as the market opens, the fish, they always sell off quickly.
Yes. Oh, wow.
Person seems to be waiting for that time because I believe that they're at a special price at that time.
Okay.
So they get sell off right away. So come early if you're interested in the fish and probably in the meat as well, because persons would probably buy those early.
So just fish and meat. Is there anything like conch and any of the other delicacies that the seas offer?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
They might have a variety of items from the fishery, so you can come and check it out.
Okay. Okay,
So Ellie, final words you want to say as we wrap up this segment, as you talk about agriculture and what they're doing?
Yes, I'm inviting all of you to come out on the 21st, this Thursday, 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. The public market is the place to be. Come, bring your family, come, bring your friends, and please purchase from our vendors as well. Get that little gift for your family.
Okay, sounds good. 10 minutes until 10 o'clock, and so it seems like the synergy between small business and agriculture is working fine.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
We are sister ministries, so we are working together to promote our farmers and our small business owners.
I was just gonna ask why it can't be a brother and sister ministry, but I'll work with the sister.
I'm sorry.
I'll work with the sisters.
I always wonder, how do we assign the gender to these things?
I don't know. Maybe it's because the female produces, so we want to produce, make things grow and get bigger and better. But then you will say we need the male for that as well. But
so it's Sinkis and Nevis.
It works.
We hear that they're sisters, but we never
island.
have we heard that they're brothers. Sinkis and Nevis.
No.
I think because countries generally assign
Like
female
Mother
gender.
Earth. Mother Earth.
So I think that's part of that whole thing.
It's true.
You know?
It's weird when you think about these things and where they originate from.
Except the Russians and the Germans say fatherland.
So
they're unique. No, seriously,
different level right
those
there.
two countries uniquely they say fatherland, whereas everyone says motherland. You know?
Bias.
the male dominance.
Yeah,
is
that's all.
there.
That's all right there. That is exactly what it is.
Awesome. So, guys, we're going to wrap up this segment. Then we'll have our final talk and about things that have happened and things that are to come.
Yeah, so go out and support Thursday from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And it may go a little later. Tell them Kortensia to say so. But we don't.
And if everything Miss Gibson said wasn't a carrot to get you to come, I have one word for you guys. Or it might be two words depending on Grandmasters.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. All right, Miss Gibson. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, Happy Carnival, and I hope the event tonight. You're going to be there, of course, right?
At the night market?
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
Yes, yes.
Of course you'll
with
be
her
there.
basket to get her
Silly
stuff,
me.
especially her eggs for her cake.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So, happy holidays to all of you.
Thank
you for having me.
Miss Gibson
Thank
Door.
you.
Our pleasure.
Yes, thank you so much.
You know it's me. Huh. Hey, Boomer, we happy. Hey, this is Carnival. Then we link up better bacchanal. Hey, we happy.
So you guys happy?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah, we happy.
We have our 7 remaining minutes. Let's keep it light, Joe.
Yes.
Not all this politics and
No more politics.
and
no more international.
Parliamentarians behaving badly.
But you know they start back at 10
They
a.m.
start back at 10. Yeah.
Today.
Okay. So Parliament. You mean PBB starts at 10?
The Parliament.
Yeah.
starts
PBB.
back. What you call it?
Parliamentarians behaving badly.
Well, I hope they're listening to us and they'll correct whatever wrongs they did yesterday.
No, they
I
won't.
didn't get to look
No,
at
they
it
won't.
much.
They're all tone deaf.
I didn't get to look at it much, so I honestly can't say. But Jamsa, hopefully something we said today
50
will.
years from now, nothing will change. Trust me.
Let's hope Azad does different.
They'll all behave like children. Still behave like schoolyard children.
Let's hope that they
with the bully pulpit.
Let's hope that
that's
there's
the scariest
change
part.
in mentality and
Yes.
everything. We always have to hope for better. We can't.
And it will start with our good parliamentarian, future representative across from me over there,
gosh,
Mr. Azard.
She makes me feel so wonderful.
Don't encourage him, please.
Why?
We have a
Jamster.
call. We have a call.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Wait, caller, go right ahead. Hi, caller.
You ain't get me do yet, Because I was listening last night and I so disappointed. According to Miss Henry, the young girl from St. Paul's. I mean, what's going on in the country, Jamster? You've been talking about it. Not so often like me. Because you're radical when it comes to this thing.
Probably.
But the kind of behavior we're getting from young people who should be lifting up the decorum is terrible, especially Jeffrey. I mean, Jeffrey get a chance to vote first, set the tone. I am going to represent people. Let the man talk. We want to hear both sides, not our side. But see where they're going when the boy, that parents do take over the country. The way he behaving in the parliament before the budget, constantly going at the guy. The guy was the prime minister, he got to explain himself too. This is where we're going, youngster. And you are as young people, and you have to talk about these things in the coming year. We don't want that. And the caller from the United States, the brother from Nevis, he's so right. But I can tell you, if the voters can't get what we want from them, something else will bring it. Have a good day and have a good year. Merry Christmas to all the Carty in the FM studio.
Cup of tea,
Merry
okay.
Christmas. And looking
Thank
forward
you,
to
Jam
the
Down.
next year.
I'm losing my voice.
I have to remember all the names.
Thank you, Jam Down.
I have to remember all the names people give us. Bush tea, the Bush tea show.
Cup of tea.
Cup of tea. That's a new one. What else?
Oh yes, it is such a wonderful time. So Jamster, there are some competitions still going on to go. There's the
soca.
The soca. The
what day is that? Is
calypso.
that
Soca is usually early.
Friday?
I don't know. I have no clue.
The 21st comes to my mind. 21st.
No, it can't be the 21st because remember that's when they're having.
Oh.
That's the same thing we just the agri market.
Tomorrow is the 20th.
I have
What today is? Today is Tuesday. Okay.
Today's Tuesday, so choose to be nice today.
Yeah, nice one.
Oh, speaking of which, I saw something about Ricardo Drew. As soon as you mentioned that, they're having a like
memorial.
Like a candle vigil concert type thing.
Yeah, I saw something like that. Yeah.
Let me see. Where is it? So a celebration of life and candlelight vigil for soca ambassador Ricardo Drew, a true son of the soil who carried the spirit of Antigua to every corner of the globe through his infectious soca rhythms. So you're gonna have Claudette Peters, Tian Winter, Island Prince, Kimmy, Eziratigan. Eziratigan is actually Crocus of the Burning Flame Sun, in case you guys didn't know. So this is happening today. Drew's Day, they're calling it. It's tonight.
It's normally on a Tuesday, which is Tuesday.
So tonight, it's happening tonight, 7 p.m. at Carnival City at the Antigua Recreation Grounds. So I notice, you notice what name is missing.
Patrice?
Yeah, so.
Yeah,
I guess, I imagine she'll probably be there, but
she'll be there, but she can't.
It's possible. She said, "Don't put my name because I'll decide whether I'll perform." Because I imagine how she's feeling now.
Yeah.
But maybe tonight she might be like,
she might.
Okay, let me go up and do a couple.
I'm
songs
sure she's
or
in
whatever,
Antigua with his daughter and everything.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's.
I doubt that she's gonna have the strength to perform.
If she starts, she's gonna break down.
Yeah,
I can see her because the last time I saw them perform, because they could have performed after that, is when it was Tuesday and he engaged to her. And imagine you're on that stage in that, that over the moon occasion, and then you go back on a stage and there's no him and you just can't do it.
I don't think that that's a really hard task to perform.
That's a tough one. Boy. Really tough one. I'm sorry
because
for
it's
Lily
even
and the other
when
boys.
you lose a loved one, it's even reading something is difficult. Imagine having to put on a whole performance. That can be
and
easy.
sing something that reminds you so much of the person that you loved.
That can be easy. Yeah.
Like I imagine when she hears like maybe Toxic Love, for example, the duet.
Yeah, that would probably
when
bring
she hears her
tears.
songs, that'll probably be emotional
Or
for
any
her.
little thing that brought back memories of the two of them in good and bad times, because they celebrated both. They let you know, look, we were this, but we are this now. Anything is gonna trigger her. You fought so hard for love that you never got to enjoy because it got cut short.
And I actually thought they were the funny thing was I actually thought they were married already. I didn't realize they were still engaged.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't be surprised if they just tied a knot and then was waiting to throw a big thing with the family. I hope they did something like that, so at least she knows she had a marriage with her heart.
Yeah. And it seems like he was loved because you guys saw the videos with people like waiting at the hospital and so.
Yeah.
So.
And then you saw all the little paraphernalia that the various Caribbean islands did with him in their flags and stuff.
And
so
it's life. It just reminds you how fragile life is, and you can be gone at any age under any circumstance. Sometimes we think that because we're young, we're invincible, and that we have time, but we don't know when that time is going to end.
We don't know. So, guys, we have in Parliament today set an example for the future.
I think we should go out on a happy song, our theme song. Jam, so you have our
we
local
want
guy.
happiness.
But we have a happy song playing now.
I know.
I mean, that's a good comeback, right?
Yeah, it is.
The song is called Happy. Hey, what else do you want?
What else do we need, man? What else do we need?
Is this the one that put your hand in the air if you have
Yeah. Happy. Happy's the name of it. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know,
the name
I
of the
don't
song.
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grandmasters like they don't even. It's like talk of embarrassment of riches. It's like, I'm sure they don't know which song. I mean, I'm sure they don't know which song they're really going to put for Road Batch because there's Wrong Man and there's this. You know?
I think the first one that you said. I think everybody's
Wrong
seen
Man?
that one. Yeah. You don't think?
Well,
I think
that
this
one.
I think this one could
Happy?
apply. Yeah, across
Both
the
of
board.
them could think.
Let's wait and see.
Yeah.
What is the flow gonna be? Happy?
Oh, absolutely not. That would be that would be kind of paradoxical, wouldn't it? Who's happy when they have the flu? You know.
I know, but
Maybe.
what are we gonna name it then? The wrong fella.
Or the wrong bug.
Yeah,
something.
the wrong fella. Yeah.
Here he go, bug. Yeah, think about the name of the song, Jam. So you better go with happy.
Can't call it for the wrong man. You call it for the wrong man. Come on, man.
It could be that it was the wrong one for you.
So
He could definitely be the wrong one for you, right?
So Jam, so you better be placing your bets on happy then out of the two.
Jam, so happy it is, okay?
No, it can't be happy.
Oh boy, okay.
What you call it flu? What kind of upside down world is that? You call it the flu? They're happy. The happy flu.
But I'm sure there are other songs, so we don't want to just cater to one band or one song.
Yeah.
Because there are other songs that couldn't make it in. There are other persons competing.
Maybe you could call it Barbie and Ken.
I was just thinking about that, but then again, that's a little too cheery.
Oh boy.
Nobody has
It's
fun
all
when they
cheery
have.
songs.
No one has fun when they're having the flu.
You know.
I don't. That's the only three I know.
You know which one.
I tried to run through some of the names.
You know which one again? I think had made the thing the creep up when you said,
Yeah,
I got the creep up.
Yeah, that one really. That one hit different for real. Yeah, that one was.
I just had a thought, maybe
that
Jockey.
was
Maybe Jockey. We can name it after unexpected song.
She's talking about the jockey.
No,
unexpected.
No, I don't think it's popular enough to rise to the level of being the name for the flu, for the post-carnival flu. I don't know about that.
Here we discussing what the flu is going to be called.
Yeah.
Guys,
because
take your vitamins, drink your water.
Am I in your business? No. Drink your fluids. Take your vitamins, as Azard say, and wear your mask.
Yeah, you might need it,
Mask.
If you listen, wear your mask.
It's so funny to see Asia. You see pictures with Asia, and you see people still wearing masks.
Yeah, but strangely enough, before we had the COVID-19 pandemic, I was in China, I think in November, and everybody wore face
November
masks.
2019.
Yeah.
But they wore face masks all the
They
time.
So you're the one who probably brought it from China.
When they came to the Caribbean, even before COVID Jamster, the Asians always wore masks.
Yeah,
And I'd be like,
it's because I think it's because the air quality that they have.
They always wore masks.
Yeah.
They always wore it. So when this thing came, I'm sure I was one thinking, it's part of their culture already.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
not going to feel anything.
They're not going to
always
feel
wear
away.
the mask.
Yeah, we are the ones.
It was,
Because I had to take off my mask to see properly sometimes. Yeah, so guys,
What?
Yeah, that never affected you?
To see what properly?
I had to sometimes I swear my mask made me think I couldn't see. I literally had to take my mask off my face to see properly.
There might be something to that. I was reading something a few months ago, right? Where I know sometimes when I'm doing something and the music is up and I want to turn the music down. And I remember one time I was thinking about it, right? I said, that doesn't make sense. But then I read an article that said that it makes sense because if you're trying to think about something, you turn on the music because that's additional sensory resources being allocated to something which so they say turning on the music makes you it's think of it like a computer. You're allocating more resources to the problem at hand. So how sometimes something happens, you turn on the music, turn on that. I'm trying to think about. So it's something similar, I guess.
I have always been that kind of person. In order to study, I always wanted quietness. I couldn't do it in the music. Trust me.
Okay.
I could do
So
assignments.
why did you become a librarian then?
I could do assignments once I have the knowledge already in my mind.
Technically a librarian.
Yeah. But to get the knowledge, to digest the knowledge, I needed quietness.
Quiet, yeah. Yeah.
Quiet time, huh? Okay.
So guys, let's have some
let's go. It's 6 minutes after 10 o'clock.
We are overtime.
We are overtime.
We need to get out of here.
It was fun. I hope everybody has a great day today.
Yes, guys. All the best. Stay safe.
Okay.
Stay hydrated. Stay positive. And
And
cool.
stay happy.
Stay happy too.
Happiness a overload. Now everybody happy.